Well,
I have to ask just in case this is the one time you would.
okay. If you want to do your thing, go ahead.
Just gotta turn this on. All right, this is Colleen Taney. This is an interview in the case of State versus Paula Marie Huff, CR number 2013-0470. Today is August 1st. It's approximately 1:09 in the afternoon. We're present in the Pima County Attorney's Office, 14th floor conference room. Also present are Detective Jerry Diaz, Ms. Huff, who's representing herself, and Detective Tolentino. I got the first letter at least. And Detective Tolentino, who works for our office. This is Ms. Huff's interview. I'll go ahead and turn it over to her.
Okay. All right, Jerry, do you have any opening statements?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have you ever lied under oath?
No, ma'am.
Okay, don't take any of these questions personally. I ask them of everybody.
No, that's fine.
With the exception of the ones that are specific to my case and
Correct.
you and me. Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fine.
Have you ever been dismissed, suspended, disqualified from a case, or had a case dismissed, including on appeals, due to your lying?
No.
Okay. Who was the officer in charge of my case? Was it you?
I was the case detective, yes, ma'am.
You were the case detective?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And have you received any training in Title 36, Section 28, the Arizona Medical Marijuana Act?
Just my conversations with Department of Health Services and their employees.
Okay, that was your training?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And also paperwork reviewing the actual Medical Marijuana Act.
Okay. And what is usable marijuana? Is it the whole plant?
No, ma'am. No. But the actual cultivated marijuana from the plant.
Cultivated just means grown, which would be the whole plant.
Okay.
So it's the whole plant?
Well, I gave my answer, so.
Okay.
I mean, and when you say usable, do you mean
yes,
smoke?
under the law, what is usable?
In order to get like a high from a narcotic?
No, what counts as usable as far as the allowable amount that you're allowed to have?
Yeah, the cultivated amount that you're allowed to have?
Well, there's a difference between cultivated and usable.
Can I just go ahead and just, because I think we're missing each other here.
Okay.
So based on your understanding of the laws, there are a certain number of plants somebody is allowed to have if they have a valid card and they're allowed to grow. What is that?
It's 12 plants.
Okay, and what's the usable amount, what's the allowable usable amount?
If somebody does not have plants, for instance, how much, I guess, loose marijuana would they be allowed to have?
Yeah, they can have 2.5 ounces.
Now,
Of what? Of leaves and stalks and roots?
Just a second. Let me just go ahead and finish. Just so we don't, go back. Virginia's going to kill me when she does the transcript of you and I keep interrupting each other, and I apologize for that. But when they go off as, let's say you have somebody that doesn't cultivate, they just have the loose marijuana.
Correct.
Does that include things like the roots and the stems of the plant, or is that just things like the buds, leaves, or leaf parts?
I take it as buds, leaf parts.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay.
Let's see, when did you receive your training in the Arizona Medical Marijuana Act?
Shortly after the act came out.
When was that?
I don't recall the exact date.
Okay. You remember the year?
It was 2013, 2012, 2013.
Okay. Let's see, because my arrest happened on January 10th, 2013. That's
correct.
why, was it before January 10th?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, what form was your training given in?
Like I said, it was through communications with Department of Health Services.
Okay. Were you tested or certified in Title 36, Section 28?
No, there is no testing or certification from my understanding.
Okay. And what is a 2811 shield?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Have no idea?
Not like that, yeah. Does it have another name?
It's called a 2811 shield in the training materials, which is why I asked.
Okay.
How long have you been participating in knock and talks like the one that took place at my house on January 10th of this year?
Participating in knock and talks,
like the one that took place at my house.
Maybe my entire career.
Okay, that's acceptable. Right. You look different in glasses.
Oh.
Anyway, did you record the knock and talk that you participated in at my house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you normally audio record your knock and talk?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how long were you involved in the event at my house, from the time you arrived to the time I was taken into custody, roughly,
How long was I involved?
to your recollection?
Oh, man. Well, I got notification about your home and you maybe around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. And then I think we left to go put evidence away. It was really late at night, so maybe midnight, 1 in the morning, something like that.
Okay, well, between the time you showed up at my house and the time I was taken into custody, according to the times you dictated on your audios, it was a 72-minute event. So,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
just that much time. So,
I see. Okay.
and what I'm wondering, though, is why are there only 9 minutes of a 72-minute event recorded at my house? Where is the rest of that audio?
Rest of the audio?
Yeah, your audio recording of my event.
I provided all the audio.
It
that
was only 9
recorded.
minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, why did you not record the entire time you were talking to me? Why is there only 9 minutes?
I recorded our knock and talk, the communication that we had. Once I was removed from the situation and you had stepped out, I needed to then move on to attempting to apply for a search warrant. So I don't record myself sitting alone in my vehicle, riding, or I normally don't record those other events.
Okay, how long were you sitting in your vehicle writing before you called Judge Godoy?
I believe I told you that it would take 20 to 30 minutes. It might have taken me around that much, maybe about 30 minutes or so.
According to the audios, it took about 58 minutes, and so that was why I'm asking that.
The audios?
Yeah, from the time that you had said you were going off record to the time that you came back to tell me you had a search warrant, it was about 58 minutes. Let's see. Why did you call Judge Godoy from your personal cell phone instead of your department-issued cell phone?
I have 2 phones. Oftentimes I forward my phone calls to the other phone so I don't misplace one or lose one or miss a phone call.
So you had your personal cell phone on you in lieu of your department-issued cell phone that day, or you had both?
I had both.
Okay. Are you friends with Judge Godoy or her husband, Joe?
No.
You're not.
I know them. I am friendly with them. But are we friends and do we hang out? No.
Okay. But you are friendly with them.
I'm friendly with you.
Okay. And let's see. How many knock and talks on medical marijuana card holders do you conduct per month on average, would you say?
I don't know if I'd have that information.
Roughly, a wild guess.
A month?
Well, think of how many you normally would do in a week and multiply that by 4 if you want, or
Yeah.
just...
I don't know. I'm down to 0 right now just because of the nature of the way our job works, but at the time when we contacted you, maybe like 2 or 3
Per month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's see.
And that would be me participating in a knock and talk.
Right.
Meaning I'm not always the one knocking on the door.
Right.
Sometimes I'm the one standing off to the side.
Well, yeah, you know about them.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you do 3 or 4, you say, a month on
Sure.
medical marijuana card holders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's see, does TWX check records? I'm just asking this, I know the answer to this. I've asked everybody, but I ask everyone this.
Okay.
Does TWX check records or contact Arizona Department of Health Services to verify medical marijuana patient cards?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And why did you take and keep my card?
We normally do that when we get notification that a card is invalid.
Why is it taken? What's it taken for? What's the purpose?
Well, it's normally kept because that card is no longer allowed to be in the possession of the person who has it.
Okay, what I'm wondering about is, what I'm getting at here, if my card came back as no record found, and my card showed a valid expiration date on it, why wasn't I charged with fraud? or something like that for having a card that was obviously manufactured somewhere else if you honestly believed it was invalid in it.
I'm actually going to step in. You remember when we started doing interviews, I said there might be times when I step in and say that there's certain questions that witnesses can't answer.
This is one of them?
Yes. Charging decisions aren't left up to the officers, it's left up to the county attorney's office. So this is not something that any of the officers in this case would have any role in.
This is in Barbara's territory?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. All right, here I've got a question you can answer. Given that the card was not expired and had a UV security image and a clear laminate hologram on it, what was the reason to call in and verify it?
It's actually, we have to verify all those cards.
How often do they come back no record found?
We get some that come back no record found. We also get some that come back with a valid record.
Do they ever come back invalid?
Yes.
Okay. And mine came back how?
My knowledge, it was no record found, making it invalid.
Okay. If my card came back no record found, making it invalid, why did you swear to Judge Godoy under oath that it was invalid?
That was the information that I received.
Okay, because you said they come back valid, not valid, or no record found. Mine came back no record found, yet you swore to Judge Godoy it was invalid.
Actually, that's not what I said. I said it came back no record found, making it invalid.
What would be the difference between no record found, making it invalid, and it coming back just straight up invalid? Does it ever come back no record found but valid?
I don't know. I don't think I've had a situation.
I can name one.
Ms. Huff, can I just ask a couple of clarifying questions?
Uh-huh.
Just before we move on to another topic. So, Detective, when you're told that somebody doesn't have record of something in the system, what does that mean to you?
That it doesn't exist in the system.
And if it doesn't exist in the first place, would there be any possibility, based on your experience, that it would be valid if it doesn't exist?
No.
And in this case, what were you, just to clarify, were you told whether it was invalid as an invalid and it had been in the system, or they just could not find it?
I was told that it was invalid. Later on, I found out that it had no record, and
Who told you it was invalid?
my sergeant,
Who's your sergeant?
Sergeant Froby.
Okay, he's the one who told you it was invalid.
Correct.
Okay. Let's see. Would you have been able to get into my house had you stated to Judge Godoy that my card was in fact valid or that it was no record found?
That would be a question for Judge Godoy.
And that's not something this officer would be able to necessarily answer. And the reason I say this is because whether or not a judge grants a warrant is something that the judge has to decide based on the information they get. Witnesses typically aren't allowed to testify as to the opinions that they think somebody else might have.
Okay, but his opinion of what that may happen may have been the reason why he stated, he worded it the way he did.
Let me finish. He cannot testify or give answers as to what somebody else might have thought, regardless of what the hypothetical situation might be.
Okay. Let's see. When you submitted the affidavit of warrant, who was the victim or injured party in his or her business property?
I'm sorry, say that again?
When you submitted the affidavit of warrant, who did you list as the victim or injured party in his or her business or property?
I'm not sure what you're asking because I don't think we had a victim, did we?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just have these questions down to ask.
Oh, I see.
I don't know is a perfectly,
Oh,
just so
okay.
you know.
Okay.
These aren't like, oh, I know you know the answers to these. This is,
Okay.
I don't know is a perfectly acceptable answer,
All
Jerry.
right.
Don't worry about it.
I wasn't sure. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
calm
you.
down. You're like a 9 on the tension scale right now. Calm down. You'll be okay. Let's see here. Really, you can say I don't know. Is having a medical marijuana card probable cause for checking for compliance with 3628?
Not always, ma'am. No.
But sometimes?
No. Well, there has to be other things involved also.
Like what?
Additional information about what is going on there.
Okay. Let's see. And is having a medical marijuana card probable cause for checking for compliance with 3628?
I think you just asked that.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know what the compliance is?
What's that?
Do you know what the compliance is?
Yeah, you have to have 12 plants or And cultivated marijuana, you can only have 2.5 ounces every 2 weeks.
Okay. All right, I gotta clarify something, just so, because for other people in the future, there's a difference between cultivated and processed.
Okay.
Cultivated means grown, processed means it's been all trimmed up into little buds and dried out and it's usable.
Okay.
Just so you know, so when you
Gotcha.
say cultivated, you're saying a plant sticking up out of the ground.
Gotcha. Okay.
I only say that because I'm a plant scientist, you know that, I told you that in your
I
truck.
remember you saying that, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Is an anonymous phone call from a payphone probable cause for entry to a valid medical marijuana card holder's home?
Not by itself.
Okay. Who ordered the dog search on my place of employment?
We did.
Why was a dog search ordered on my place of employment?
Because it's based on the information that we had. It was an additional property that you had control over, and therefore also needed to be checked.
If I had the key to the University of Arizona IT department, would you have gone over there with a dog?
If we had information that you had control over it recently, then yeah.
You would have torn apart the...
No, we would have included it in the warrant. I would have explained it to the judge and let the judge make the decision.
But I mean, like you guys, when you went over there and went in, like, would you, let's say you'd gone over to the University of Arizona instead of a small company in a small office complex, let's say you went somewhere like the University of Arizona, would you have, say, dumped the document shredder all over the office there?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
I was wondering if there was a difference between, like, what happened at my place of employment and because I'm working at a small company versus what would have happened had I been working, say, at a large place, University of Arizona or Raytheon or something. Would you have gone in and dumped a document shredder out there, or was it just because it was a small company?
I don't think that we have any specifics that would dictate us doing that, whether it's a big company or a little company.
Okay, I was just wondering how all those little pieces got into my carpet that I can't even vacuum out to this day. That was why I was wondering.
Oh, okay.
I was curious as to whether you would do that to a place real big like that, or if it was just something fun y'all did to my office.
Oh my goodness, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
It's a reasonable, curiosity.
That's
Okay.
fine. Let's go ahead and move on.
Okay. Well, the next one's kind of moot, but you remember who called in my medical marijuana card to verify its validity? You told me that. Let's see. And I'll ask you this again anyway. What exactly was the status of my medical marijuana card according to the TWX operator who supposedly verified it through Arizona Department of Health Services?
I was told it was not valid.
Okay. And who informed you of the status of my card?
That was my sergeant.
Okay. And let's see, do you or Freebie have a recording of Freebie calling out my card number aloud to anyone, like out loud?
I don't believe so, no. My understanding is that it was done over the phone, so I don't know if there was an actual...
We checked, we don't.
There is no
There's-
recording of it?
I don't believe so, no.
So the number that's written down, if there's a 1, they could have said L, for instance, or a 7, that kind of thing could be mixed
Yeah,
up?
no.
That could have caused that?
Normally when we do things over the radio, we phonetically spell things so that there isn't mix-ups. So like if it's an L, we wouldn't say 1 or L, we would say, well actually, we wouldn't
Okay,
say
but like
L.
when you're looking at it, let's say you looked at it and it
Oh, I
looked
see
like
what
the
you're
wrong
saying.
thing to you and you read, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I
That's
understand.
why I was wondering if it was read out loud so that
Yeah.
I could compare it with the actual number.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. I was wondering if there's anything around, anywhere that I can, because if we can put that together, then that would actually establish
It would
good
explain,
faith.
right.
That would establish good faith, but as it stands right now, there is none. So that's why I was wondering that. I'm trying to get you under good faith. I want you to be in good faith.
I
All
can
right.
tell you I acted under good faith.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure that there was, that we have some kind of evidence of that, because right now we have none.
Okay.
Okay, and when my card was called in for compliance, who acted as a witness for my card being checked? Was it you?
I was actually speaking with you at the door.
Okay, so that wasn't you, so there was no other officer that witnessed my card
Well,
being
there
called
was
in?
a few of us that were standing right there. I believe it happened while you and I were standing at the door. He was standing right there. You might have actually been a witness to it.
No, I was talking to
To me.
Zias.
Well, no, that happened way before Zias.
she was there from the time I went outside. Let's see, and, do you know what the compliance is on calling in the cards?
We call Twix, and Twix verifies through DHS. Twix
Okay.
is TWX.
Okay, that's that would be this. So you can help me here. I want you to point out on here where exactly it was
Oh, you're
that
this is
Freebie
gonna-
called Twix.
Yeah, this is
If he called, this is the Twix log, so.
no, this is a call. Well, I don't know what this is a call text,
Mm-hmm.
and so I couldn't tell you where.
But if that's
it's on
like the
here.
TWX, like I was wondering where the call came in to TWX so that they can call it Arizona DHS?
That would have to be verified with Twix, yeah. Because
Okay, because like everything on here, every time one of you guys lets a fart, it's on here, but there's like, as yet, nobody's
time
been
we
able to.
what?
I said every time one of you guys
No,
lets a
no,
fart,
no.
it's on there like, look,
can
4:20
definitely-
PM, D is farted, you know,
No,
well,
I
anyway,
can-
so.
I can definitely tell you that's not
My
in here.
delicate ears.
Yeah.
I know, oh gosh,
it's
sorry
not
about that,
here.
Colleen.
No, I don't think it would be on here.
Because there's like right here where you all called in to run my rap sheet and my son's rap sheet, which we have nothing. What you guys have here is, you've got me, I'm actually a well-known author, and,
Okay.
and I'm the executive vice president of a film production firm, and you looked up my LinkedIn and everything. You have a copy of my resume, and
Right.
so I'm sure a lot was revealed at the very bottom of that as to why I knew the stuff I did, you know, but.
The only thing I can tell you is that this, from my understanding, is a call text that monitors radio traffic.
Right, so
That
when
was
they
going
radio
on.
in and say, hey, can you call in this
But
girl's
like
card, it seems like that would
like-
show up here somewhere.
Right, like I said before, I believe Sergeant Froby did it over his phone. We called in, not radioed in, but called in.
Okay, so you call TWX on a phone?
I didn't.
Okay, so it's not really, because I'm trying to get what you do, whether you call TWX via radio or phone normally.
It depends on where we are. I work for the Narcotics Alliance, and so oftentimes we're out of radio traffic. We have to use our phones. We use phones all the time.
Okay, because I don't know if Winter Haven's out of your radio traffic zone.
It might have just been force of habit that he uses phones. I don't know.
Okay,
You'll have to ask him.
okay, I can do that. And let's see here. Let's go back to my questioning here. Let's see here. When the card came back, no record found. Oh no, it says, do you have a recording of the call, or do you have any way to prove the numbers are in fact read correctly? We just went over that. All right, as a law enforcement officer, is it your job to enforce 3628, the Arizona Medical Marijuana Act?
What the act does is it provides protection for people who are using marijuana medically.
Mm-hmm.
When there's a violation of that act, the protection that act provides is no longer there.
Okay.
And so my job is to enforce drug violations.
Compliance with the Medical Marijuana Act?
My job is to enforce drug violations. So when a violation occurs, that's what we enforce.
Okay, what made you think a drug violation happened on my house when I had a medical marijuana card?
We had a reportee that was telling us that there was violation there.
Okay, so you were there to check for compliance then with
was.
Title 36, Section 28? Because if you're there for a medical marijuana card, but say there's 50 plants, for instance, that's checking for compliance. That's not there to investigate a Title 13 offense. That's there to check for compliance. And
I'm
so
not sure where
when
the
you're
difference-
counting the
yeah.
number of plants, okay, just the fact that, let's say somebody has 100 plants, that doesn't mean that they're Title 13. That's just out of compliance with 3628.
It would if it was a civil violation, but these are criminal offenses when they are in violation of the act, and so therefore, because I'm tasked with
Okay,
the
so
state
if they're out of compliance, then it's criminal.
Correct.
If
That's
they're
correct.
out of compliance, okay,
That's
and how do you determine that they're in compliance?
By actually looking at them and seeing what the grow operation looks like. Which there has been situations where we have contacted people who were in compliance, and we shook their hands and walked away and have a good day.
Did they let you in without a warrant?
There's times that they have, and there's times that they have not.
Have you ever gotten a warrant and gone in and not arrested someone?
Yes.
Can you name the case?
No, not off the top of my head.
Just to clarify, based on your understanding of how cases work,
Mm-hmm.
if you had a situation like that, you served a warrant, you didn't see any evidence of criminal activity, would there be a criminal case in court?
No.
Why are we here? That's just the next logical question, is because, I don't know.
It's your interview, you can ask.
Yeah, why are we here then?
Well, when we got
Why did you charge me with Title 13?
when we got the warrant for your place and we went in there, we found that you were out of compliance, and that's the reason why we were arrested.
Are you aware that the law requires you to, when you see a valid medical marijuana card, to leave and state that there is no violation? Are you aware of that?
No.
You've never seen anything that says that?
I was not aware of the way you're asking it, no.
Seriously? You've never seen, then you've never seen that? Okay, I'm floored. And let's see, are you normally dispatched to medical marijuana cardholders' homes to check for compliance?
No, I normally respond to investigate drug investigations, marijuana investigations.
Okay, if someone says, for instance, she has a medical marijuana card, but she's growing 50 plants, would that be Title 13?
No, that's actually 13
Okay, but it's under Title 13, correct? It's not under Title 36?
all the statutes in the state of Arizona are under Title 13.
Criminal statutes.
Every statute is?
All the criminal statutes are.
Oh, so in order to get me on a criminal offense, you had to charge me with Title 13, correct?
No, in order for me to enforce the laws of the state, it's under Title 13.
For you to enforce a law,
I
it has
don't-
to be under Title 13, you're telling me.
Pretty much.
But if it's under another title, you're not supposed to enforce that law. Like,
not.
say, it's under Title
No,
36, you're not supposed to be enforcing that,
I
correct?
don't do that kind of stuff, yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Title 28 would be like a driving offense, and so I enforce those also.
Mm-hmm.
So like when people speed and things like that. But if there's a criminal violation, it'll be under Title 13.
Okay, why don't you enforce Title 36 then?
36 is actually under Title 13.
Title 36 is under Title 13?
No, it's not 36. It's the 3600 statutes are 13-36.
Oh, you're misunderstanding me. I'm talking about Title 36. I'm not talking about 13-36 something. I'm talking about Title 36 and then, like, say, dash 2811.
Yeah. The only thing I can tell you is that I enforce criminal violations. The Medical Marijuana Act offers protection, but if you're in violation of it, it then becomes criminal. Does that make sense?
Okay, what is being in violation of it to you?
Whatever is outside the realms of the protection of the Medical Marijuana Act.
Whatever's outside. You mean like not having a card and
Like
selling
having,
it
like
type of
having
thing?
18, 19 plants when you're only allowed 12.
Okay, that would be
Be
checking
allowed.
for compliance with Title 36. That wouldn't be enforcing Title 13.
Okay.
And are you still a gang cop, or did your job change so you're now enforcing 3628 through the Counter Narcotics Alliance?
I'm actually a police detective, so I'm allowed to enforce multiple different laws, criminal violations. I happen to be working in the narcotics division, and so that's my focus right now.
Okay. And let's see, why was I not given a police blanket?
A police blanket?
What was I wearing when I was on my porch?
You're wearing your towel.
Why was I not given a police blanket? It was the first night of a cold snap, and they sprayed salt on the roadway for black ice. I was fresh out of a shower and freezing for an hour and a half waiting for you to secure a search warrant.
Okay.
And so, speaking of which, because it did take an inordinately long amount of time. It took almost 3 times the amount of time that you had quoted to get that search warrant. And I'm wondering, which other judges did you call before you got hold of Godoy?
I probably tried 2 or 3 other judges. I don't recall everybody's names at the moment.
Okay, why did you call anyone after you called the first one?
Why?
Why did you call it the second one?
Because the first one didn't answer.
You just couldn't get hold of them?
Correct, yeah.
So you tried to call, but there was no connection made, it was just call?
Yeah, kept trying to call people until somebody answered and was available to listen to a search warrant.
Okay, and how long did that take?
I don't know, maybe a few minutes.
Okay, what I'm trying to figure out is,
Okay.
I'm trying to fill in this time gap. And it's a significant time gap for me, maybe not for you guys because you were clothed and, you know, you weren't freezing and miserable.
Okay.
Okay, I was suffering horribly on my porch.
I
I'm wondering
yeah.
about you offered me to go in the house with the cops, and I wasn't going to let you guys in without a warrant.
Okay.
You know that. Once one of you sets foot in my house, you all get to. I know this. I used to work for the cops. I know.
Okay.
So I know these things. Now you know why I didn't do that. I'm not crazy wanting to stand out there naked. I knew what was up.
All right.
And I'm wondering why you didn't offer me a police blanket, because that would have really, really taken a lot of the problem away, because I would have at least been, I would have been comfortable and there would be no talk of torture.
I don't think any of us had a police blanket.
You guys don't have a police blanket, so like, let's
I
say you
can tell
rescue
you-
somebody out of
No,
a wash.
Just a second. Because again, Virginia is going to kill me when she does this transcript. We're all kind of talking over each other, so let's not do that. So ask question, answer, and then a little break so Virginia doesn't lop off my head. She will.
Okay, I can see that. I used to be a transcriptionist.
Well, then you understand.
Okay. So I was just wondering that, why would nobody give me anything to cover up with when, I mean, it was so cold. It was freezing, and if you look at the weather reports for that night, that was miserable for me. That had to have been the most traumatic thing I've ever been through in my entire life.
It would probably be the time period between 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 in the afternoon. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was just wondering why you wouldn't have a police blanket on you, or why you guys wouldn't.
I don't know.
You just don't carry them?
I don't carry one, no. I don't even have a police car.
Okay, but there were police cars, and I figured maybe there was a police blanket in one of the trunks.
No, I couldn't tell you. I didn't have a police blanket. I don't know if any of them had police blankets.
Okay.
I'm sure if they had one, they probably would have given it to you. I don't see why you would be denied one, especially if you asked for one.
I don't know, maybe to encourage me to allow the cops in without a warrant,
Then that would be encouragement or coercion, We don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, so no, we're just going to treat you like we would everybody else.
You'd treat everybody else like that?
No,
That's horrible.
no, but I mean, we're just going with what happened that day. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Is there anything, like...
Is there any other question?
Oh.
I'm trying to answer the best of my knowledge, and I don't know where we're going.
Oh, yeah, I'm just asking questions that, I've been wondering about for a very long time.
Okay.
And so, I'm sure I've been really eager to get you in front of me so I could ask you this, because I've had no answers, and I've just been wondering all this time. Why did this happen? Why I was so diligent to stay within the bounds of the law, and my card, it says in the law that I'm supposed to be shielded from this kind of stuff, and I wasn't, and that's why I'm asking.
Ah, I see.
All right, so I think we have that. Let's see, and do you have any closing statements?
No.
Okay. And do you think my arrest took a criminal off the street?
I don't know if I can answer that correctly, or answer that at all.
I don't know, it's perfectly
Yeah.
acceptable.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right.
So would you mind if I just clarify a couple of things?
Go for it, Colleen.
So at one point, Detective, you mentioned that you've been doing knock and talks your entire career. How long has your career been?
August of 1998.
Okay. So more than a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And you were also asked some questions about Judge Godoy and her husband, and you mentioned that you were friendly with them.
Correct.
You also mentioned that you're friendly with most people.
Mm-hmm.
Does whatever relationship you have with, well, let me back up. Do you treat Judge Godoy or her husband any differently than you treat normal people?
No.
Do you treat them any differently than you treat other judges or other investigators or anybody like that?
Nope, I treat judges the same way, investigators the same way as I treat Judge Godoy.
And based on your relationship and the fact that you're friendly with them, Do you feel that that gave you any particular advantage or disadvantage when you called her for the warrant?
Not at all.
And have you ever called a judge to get a warrant, been denied a warrant, and then called another judge with the exact same set of facts, no changes, no further investigation, and then asked them to give you a warrant?
No, that would be wrong to do that.
Sorry, I have to read my chicken scratching here. And then just to clarify, we were talking about the call text. It's called a call text, but that's specifically for radio traffic, not phone call traffic.
Correct.
Okay. That's all I have. Do you have any follow-up on any of those?
Let's see. Not really, I don't think.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll think of 100 of them as soon as I hit the stop button on here.
Well, it's usually how it works. All right, well, if we're all set, it's approximately 1:45, and I'll go ahead and go off tape.